Hi everyone, welcome to Nisnas Industries. So we're getting a little bit better at these videos. So hopefully this one is a little bit better than the last, and we keep on getting better as we go. Hopefully. Let us know in comments. Okay, so we're calling this video The Tumbler is Alive. And the reason we're doing this is because we make our tumbler out of one solid piece of oak, which means that it is pretty much alive. So it's made of oak. It's a material that reacts with its environment. It reacts with the whiskey, and it reacts to anything around it. So wood is a living material. It'll have the whiskey seep through it. Our wax that we use here also becomes part of it and is used for maintenance, and we'll discuss that a little bit too. And also there are a couple of important do's and don'ts with this oak tumbler, and I want to be able to walk you through some of these. So stick with us. So let's walk through some of our do's and some of our don'ts, and then we'll talk about how we treat little tiny hairline cracks and maintenance in general. Cool. So a couple of things that we don't do. Very importantly, this tumbler, it's a solid one-piece oak tumbler, and you don't wash it. So there is no need to wash it. In particular, not in the dishwasher or in your sink. You just do not. You just wipe it one time. You take it and you take a cloth and you wipe it down, and that's it. It should be fairly simple. The reason for this is that much like an oak whiskey barrel, it doesn't require cleaning. It just requires one wipe down. That's it. Simple enough, right? So again, please don't wash it. That's our first one. Also, since the wood is very reactive, do not keep your tumbler in a very hot and dry place, because that will cause the wood grains to contract. And oak has a very, very long fiber to it. So as it contracts, it will allow liquid to seep through. And the way that we deal with that is we use our wax in order to keep it moist, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So one more thing. Do not keep liquid in the tumbler for a long time, especially not overnight. So if you pour whiskey into your tumbler, it's great. You can drink it, you can keep it there for a while, for up to an hour, but after that, do drink it. And if you leave it overnight, it will seep through, because like we said, oak is a very reactive material, and it will literally seep through. It won't seep through in the first hour or two, but it will overnight. So make sure not to do that. But, and here's a big but, if it does seep through, that's fine. Let's talk about how we reseal the oak tumbler, because you definitely can do it. Okay, so let's talk about what you can do. So, use the wax on your tumbler. So we make two kinds of tumblers. This is our Madison tumbler in the Madison shape with a stainless steel ring up top, and this is our oak honey whiskey tumbler of fame. And with both of these, you use the wax in the exact same way. So either you use the wax that comes with your tumbler, that's this, or you can get one from our website, that's this one. It holds 100 ml of wax that we make here. It's made here in our workshop. Maybe one of our future videos will be how we make the wax. Does that sound like a good idea, Max? Mm-hmm. Maybe. If you feel like seeing a lot of bees flying around, it could be interesting. So you use this wax in order to maintain your tumbler. So in previous videos we've shown how to use it, but I'll walk you through it really briefly. I won't go through the entire process, but you do take some on your finger. It's a little bit too much. Some like this. Make sure that you have enough, and you use it on the inside of the tumbler. And also, I won't go through the entire motion, but we've done this before in other videos, and you can also use it on the outside if you wish. The inside, the bottom of the inside is probably the most important. Not probably, it is the most important, because that really is where there might be seepage. So Important point, if you did leave your tumbler overnight, fine, whiskey seep through, that's okay. Make sure to do what I'm doing now, and that will solve the issue. So that's that. Let's move on to cracks. Cracks. Let's say you have a crack. And this is an important point. Let me introduce you to a tumbler that we got back actually from a customer. This is a tumbler that has a crack in it. It's a hairline crack, and here you'll be able to see a zoom in of this crack. This happened months ago, and the reason that it happened is because the customer left whiskey in it not only overnight but over 3 or 4 days. You can actually see a ring here of where the whiskey was left out over 3 nights, and it caused the wood to swell, and we got it back here in order to be able to test our wax methods. So what we did with this one is we used the same technique that I showed you a little bit earlier on, only we did it 3 or 4 times, and we repeated it a couple of times, and it literally repaired the crack. So this is a very important point. So if you have a hairline crack, even if you can almost see sunlight through it, if you use the wax, it will help the wood contract again against itself and help seal it. And then you can use it the same way you did earlier on. So if you have, this is an important point for anyone who has a crack that isn't huge. Your tumbler is not a total loss, quite the opposite. You can keep on using it for a lifetime. Use the wax, and then let it sit for a day, and maybe you can repeat it the day afterwards, and then you can just keep on using it the same way you did before. Very, very important point. Cool. So about the wax, you get this wax with your tumbler, and it's a small amount. It's just enough to be able to maintain your tumbler for, depending on how much you drink, but for quite a while. And if you want to get more, you have it, we now produce it in 100 ml after we used to produce it in 50, so you get quite a bit. And this should last you as close to forever as possible. So feel free to grab this one if you wanted to as well. So that's really it. The point of what we're trying to do here is let you know that your tumbler is a living piece. And I know this is a little bit weird because tumblers are usually just something that you get in a shop. It's made of glass usually. And this one really is part of the experience. So if you see a crack in it, or if whiskey seep through, that's fine. It's not the end of the world. It is a living material, literally. And make sure you learn how to maintain it. It's super easy. Anyone can do it, and then your tumbler will last forever. All right. Thanks everyone for following along with us. You can keep following us here on YouTube. We have a pretty active Instagram and a Facebook feed as well. All right, guys. Thank you so much.